So actually, as first speaker, I just give a very brief introduction, actually, about the changes in global economic structure and also the status quo of economic governance system, the problems and challenges, and then the response from China, from EU, from United States, the big three. So first of all, I want to show you a series of graphs, which actually the comparison of the changes of these three big economies. So by GDP, you can compare the figures or the shares of these big three in 2007 and then 10 years later in 2017. So here you can see that China increased its share in the GDP share in the world, and US almost remained, and then EU a little bit shrinking with time. And then if we're talking about trade, the changes of global trade share, you can also compare. That's from the year 2006 to 2016. China, the figure is increased for almost 6% to 10%, while EU a little bit drop from 38 to 33, and United States is almost remain the level. So here you can see the graphs just show these kind of changes. And then when we switch to the FDI stock, inward and outward, it's also show almost the same trend. So by outward, China almost doubled, and EU a little bit shrinking. By US, that's almost remain the level which they have 10 years ago. And then by inward, China increased domestically. You can see in 2007, that's almost 4%, but by 2017, that's almost around 10%. By EU, a very significant drop from 38 to 28. And then by US, a little bit increase from 20% to 25. And then when we switch to the financial fields, when people talking about exchange reserve, so IMB is increased very much, although the absolute figure of IMB in the international reserve currency is still very low. It's almost 1.6%, I think. And no doubt, US dollar is still remain the first, biggest international exchange currency. So here, almost over 60%. Euro a little bit declined, from 26 to 20. So then when we're talking about the SDIs, so here you can see this. We all know that in 2016, IMB was included in the basket of SDR as the fifth currency, and the share of US dollar and euro decreased, especially by euro, decreased. The trend of currency diversification is stronger and stronger. So here, just these totally 5 currency in the basket of SDR, you can see the changes of it. And then a little bit switch to the productivity. So here you can see all the big three has the trend of decreasing of labor productivity. Here, especially in China, you can see a very significant drop of this labor productivity. And then about R&D intensity. So here, if we're talking about the share of R&D in the total R&D expenditure in the world, so you can see a very significant increase from China was happened, and United States it's almost remained, drop, but not that significant by EU as well. So that's a brief introduction or a picture which we can have actually the changes within these 10 years, especially after the breakout of international financial crisis. And then about the economic governance system. So we all know that it's switched, dominate from G7, G8 to G20. So here you can see the changes, because 10 years before, it's focused more or dominate more by G7 or G8, But when financial crisis broke out, and then people switched more and more to the G20, and then when we're talking about international trade governance, I think here sitting quite a lot of experts in these fields, so I will not go to the details, just to give you a very brief image about this. So that the trend is more from multilateralism to a so-called bilateralism or unilateralism. So we all know that the stagnation by Doha round of WTO, and also we know that the problem with WTO as a framework of multilateralism. And the new trend is more and more based on this new regionalism. Maybe we could call this more as a spaghetti bowl. So here I just take these big three as example. You will see that more and more different kinds of FTA were appreciated very much by these big three. Even with some regional FTA or very special FTA, like TPP, TTIP, or nowadays RCEP. When people talking about international finance governance, the major emerging economies from the rule takers to so-called formal rule makers. So here I just take the example of this Financial Stability Board, which extends their membership to incorporate all G20 members. And also we have reforms in the governance of the key global financial institutions. So here especially I think the changes in the services provided by the institutions and reforms in the selection procedure for the chief executive officers and these kind of things, which just to show these kind of changes. And then I focusing to these problems and challenges for G20. So here we have these 4 points which could actually emphasize these kind of challenges the G20 have. Especially I will take this second point as example. G20, we have this platform for global economic governance. Good. But there has no conventions, no charter, no permanent secretariat, and no international legal status. So, and then also the problems and challenges for international trade governance. So here also somehow with WTO, and also problems and challenges for international financial governance. So here the shortage of regulatory expertise and also power to achieve their preference. And also I will mention this so-called governance vacuum. And then when we're talking about the characteristic of this situation nowadays, the coordination of economic policy, the game of global economic governance, as well as the progress in global economic governance, here I just go through with this, since the time is limit. Then finally to the third point, so the response from these big three towards the situation nowadays we are facing with, towards their ideas about the construction of this global economic governance system. So by China, quite clear, people want to insist on this global governance system, keep on opening up strategy, and also a lot of measures was undertaken, like FTZ. We all know here Shanghai is the first FTZ. But as in China, we have this over initiative, which is quite a measure for Chinese side to implement these kind of multilateralism, and also with the vehicle AIIB. And then by EU, we call this more as a white knight, defending the free, fair, and rule-based economic order. So ignore this, all these could be regarded as the examples the EU want to do, and they have already done something. By United States, I think everyone knows that by Donald Trump we have this American first. Yeah, so that's actually the problem nowadays. Like Daniel Gross has mentioned, not only the view of President Donald Trump, but we have fundamental problems with this economic global governance system, especially after the international financial crisis. Yeah, especially nowadays we're facing more and more with this anti-globalization wave and also these kind of things. So that's the table which could provide a very clear response or attitude of these big three. So that's the conclusion. I think at first we all know that there is very significant changes, yeah, especially with the influence of globalization. And then to adopt this, yeah, actually we need to revise or to reform our global economic governance system. And as a response for this, I think big three, China and EU, are more insistent on this multilateral global economic governance system, but American and not, yeah, they are insisted on more these unilateral or bilateral. Yeah. Thank you very much for your attention.